Welcome to the JCPod, partner with State on Sports. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell, and man, what a weekend of college football. Julie had some really wild games this weekend. Had a really wild game last night to talk about. Florida State down 2-0. We had some domination in College Station with Notre Dame defense showing out. We had Ole Miss dropping 73. There's a lot to talk about. Before we get into that, to start off today, we're going to talk probably a little bit of NFL news. And then, talk a little bit of NFL news, go over everything that happened in week 1 of college football that I was able to get my eyes on. And then we'll pretty much talk about what the plans are going to be for Thursday's episode this week. I will admit, however, I was on a bachelor trip this weekend. Shout out my boy, Aaron. He is getting married later in the year, so we had a bachelor trip. So I did miss a few of these games, I will admit, especially some of the noon games. I wasn't fully able to get my eyes on, but everything, especially after like 4, I was able to get a decent eye on. So I'll admit, this week might be a little bit shaky, but starting next week should get back to more normal. But regardless, great time, man. Without any further ado, though, we're going to hop into the NFL news. By the way, I'm very nervous about Jamar Chase in this situation. As a guy who has him in fantasy football, yikes. But Trent Williams, I think, just finished his holdout. He's finalizing a deal. I don't know if it's for sure. The deal hasn't came out just yet. It was just announced like 20 minutes ago or so as of me recording that he is going to end his holdout and he's going to sign an extension, I believe. Or I guess finalizing a deal. I don't know if it's an extension or an actual deal, but I can't remember. But, like I said, he's at least coming back, so that's going to be good. That means I think Hassan Reddick's the only one left that's holding out. So it's going to be interesting what happens with him. I think it's pretty much him and Chase are the last two, I think, really big names that are not at practice, but looking for money still, which, as a guy who has one of those on a fantasy team, yikes. Ricky Pearsall's going to miss at least 4 games after being shot. Apparently over the weekend, he was shot after trying to get robbed. And apparently the 17-year-old person who did it is in custody. But regardless, it sounds like he's at least going to be okay. Just going to have to, miss at least 4 games so he can recover a little bit. That's just a scary situation, man. Could not imagine that happening to me, honestly. That is a very, very scary situation. And honestly, the way it sounds like it, too, he kind of kicked the dude's ass after he got shot, too, which makes it even more badass. But sucks because it's going to be a slow start for Ricky, who looked to be somewhat promising. But I guess the good news is for the 49ers in the grand scheme of football that they did sign Brandon Ayuk back to a deal. So at least now, hey, don't got to worry about that too much. Wide receiver-wise, it's going to be awesome to get him back and have another weapon. Saints Kamara, too late for contract talks this season, which makes sense. I mean, if I get done, cool. If it don't, cool. I'm kind of at the point where I'm not talking about it until after the season. I don't want to talk about it. He has 2 years left, so this is a very similar situation to Chase, which, yeah. But I guess the big reason with Chase is I kind of forgot about this. He's on his rookie deal still, so it's a difference in like $4 million this year and like I think like $33 to $34 million that he can get in money. So I kind of get why Jamar Chase is doing it, but at the same time it's like, man, if he just balls out for 1 more year, he'll get all the money in the world next year. But at the same time, like I said, I kind of get it because you want to get the money now rather than later, especially when I don't think you obviously would get hurt, but if anything happens, it's better to have it now than later. But continuing on, see if there's anything we missed. I don't know if there's going to be too much news because it's kind of like a chill week in NFL. So we got the calm before the storm right before the season starts. Apparently, as of right now, when it comes to Jamar Chase, Zach Taylor says he's going to take it day by day. I'm assuming, I want to say he's going to play, but at this point now, it's to the point I don't know. Jamar Chase was a guy who's had a whole year of college waiting to get his money, so. And at this point, I think he said it's like $250,000. I believe I looked it up. It's $250,000 a game, something like that. It's not too bad at all because he's on a rookie contract. So him holding out, there's a legitimate chance that he might consider doing it. But I just hope he comes back, man. I really want to see Jamar Chase play some football. Lamar Chase. Did I just say Lamar Chase? What the hell? Chiefs Samaje Perine expected to play in season opener versus the Ravens, which is pretty interesting since they just got him, I think, earlier last week, damn near. Especially, I think they literally got him like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one of those days. So it's going to be interesting to see that he's already going to be playing. I'm assuming it's going to be limited snaps, but probably get in 1 or 2 possessions. Cameron Dicker, who is the kicker for the Chargers, agreed to a 4-year, $22 million deal, which is awesome for him. He's been pretty consistent for them and pretty good. It's going to be, I'm excited to watch the Chargers this year, man, especially with Justin Herbert. Man, it's crazy. We got like 3-4 days. and football's here. I mean, football's really here 2 days from now. And Sunday we got some football. Man, been way too goddamn long, man. The Chiefs and Jesus, I'm about to say Chiefs and Browns. Chiefs Hollywood Brown. He won't play in the opener due to a shoulder injury. It sounds like he didn't need surgery, but sustained a sternocal. God damn it, I can't say that. The bottom right here, it's a posterior dislocation. Sternoclavicular. I don't know why I couldn't say that earlier. Jesus. But yeah, he's going to be injured. Sounds like he's still going week to week a little bit, but he should hopefully be returning. They didn't put him on IR, so I'm assuming he's going to be returning before at least week 3, or they would have put him on IR. Won't be shocked if he returns in week 2. As of right now, it seems like the Chiefs Lions are most best teams to win the Super Bowl. That's okay. And the Chiefs one, I can kind of see. Lions one. I mean, I can see both those. Let's be honest. It's not too shocking. Dolphins extend McDaniel to the 2028 season, which is he's 28 and 14 or 2014. I mean, I'll admit he's a good coach. They just need to find out how to get success towards the end of the season because they're really, really good beginning of the season team. But for whatever reason, when it gets cold and towards the end of the season, it becomes horrible. And that game in the playoffs was just a horrible show. And that was literally the sum up of, oh yeah, the Dolphins can't play in the cold. 49ers signed Ayuk to a 4-year, $120 million extension like we talked about a little bit earlier. So the fact that Ricky Pearsall got shot and hurt and is on IR, now they don't got to worry about that depth too much because they ended up not losing Ayuk. I just wonder why it took so long at this point because I wondered if this was the original number. $76 million guaranteed, by the way. I wonder if this was the original number or if they talked him down a little bit, but now he's averaging annual salary of $30 million, joining Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Tyreek Hill. Justin Jefferson is the top at all these with $35 million, which kind of also makes sense. That might actually be it. Also, shout out Kadarius Toney for having 2 Super Bowl rings in 14 months with the Chiefs and then just getting cut potentially to never play it. I'm assuming he might get signed to a team or two, maybe, but if he doesn't, I wouldn't be too shocked either for being real. So shout out to him for being able to get 2 rings pretty much from the Chiefs before just dipping. The Lions' GM expectation is to win the Super Bowl, which, I mean, with how successful their season was last year, I think that's a realistic goal now. This isn't the same Lions it was before. Bradbury's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a leg injury. And Browns are going to release Huntley, apparently. Oh, that sucks. Tyler Huntley got released. I wonder if he signed anywhere. But they kept Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That's why. That makes sense. I wonder if he's going to end up going back to the Ravens or if he's just going to end up just being in free agent for a while. And then also Jacoby Brissett was a starter. I think that's about where we left off last week. He was a starter over Drake May. But yeah, that's a quick little NFL news version. Like I said, there's not too much to talk about. Thursday, man. Can't wait. We got some Pickem. Got some bets to talk about. It's going to be nice. But that being said, we're going to talk about some college football. Go over pretty much the schedule. Because I recorded that episode, I think, Wednesday. I want to say. I might have recorded Thursday. I can't remember at this point. But I basically don't think we haven't talked since Thursday. So with that being said, by the way, I'm trying to stall because I can't get this goddamn app to work. But now that it's working, we can do we might do a quick college look ahead too today just because I might not be doing it on the Thursday show, so I'll do that as well at the end. But we'll go back all the way to Saturday, August 24th. We know Georgia Tech beat Florida State, and we know about that. Sunday, okay. So these were Thursday, UCF big win, Rutgers big win, Wake Forest big win. I don't think these are all games we really need to talk about too much. Central Michigan big win. NC State had a really big scare. By the way, Thursday we went 0-4 betting. Killed us, but I think we were able to finish the weekend 3-4 overall, so not a bad weekend at all. But we'll get to that point when we get to the end of it when we talk about Boston College. But like I said, Wake Forest, they were up big. Central Michigan up big. NC State had that scare. I mean, they were down. What? At some point, it was 14-14 going into half. And then it was 21 to... I mean, it was got to a point where, I mean, it was like, oh shit, NC State might actually lose. Then they were able to score 21 in the fourth to finish it out. But the game was way closer than it needed to be. Big win for Bowling Green. Buffalo won. That was a game I wish I gave out. I didn't, but man, wish I gave that out. Toledo destroyed Duke. Not Duke and Ease. Duquesne. I'm just kidding. It's Duquesne. I don't know why I said. I had to actually think about it. I'm like, man, I won't lie. I'm starting to mess around so much saying Duke and East. It's starting to make me think like, wait, is it not Duquesne? But no, we need to start being careful. Toledo ends up winning against Duquesne. It's 49-10, big win there. Arkansas destroys Arkansas Pine Bluff. Jacksonville State, probably the worst bet I gave out all weekend. At one point, it's 55-27 final score. At one point, it was 41-3 when I quit looking. Yeah, the fact that after that happened with Jacksonville State, I guess I don't know. We're gonna have to, I guess, reevaluate this team because Jesus, I did not think they were gonna just put up a stinker that bad, and that was at home. Tulane big win, Tulsa big win, Kansas big win, Missouri big win. Colorado and North Dakota State was a really, really fun Thursday night game. Went back and forth. North Dakota State put up a really good fight. Some concerns I have with Colorado. Offensive line, a little bit shaky at points. Defensive line, not horrible. Anytime Colorado ran man coverage and it wasn't thrown towards Travis Hunter's direction, felt like people were getting shredded or left wide open. There was a big scramble that literally killed the cover towards the end of the game in a man coverage. I did not like anything I saw of Colorado running man coverage that game, but for the most part of it, other than that, they won. Not too much to look into it. Travis Hunter, amazing catch. He's just a goddamn stud. Let's be real. Shadur Sanders, insane game for him as well. We'll reevaluate. We'll see how they play against Nebraska. I'm not going to freak out too much from this game. I did see some stuff that did concern me, so I'm not going to act like this game didn't just happen, but it's a Thursday night game against a really, really good FCS team. No joke, I thought they still should have covered, so that part does bother me a little bit, but we'll see how they play against Nebraska. If they're able to bring it a little bit against Nebraska and either lose by a little bit or even potentially win, then I'll reevaluate again. But as of right now, I'm not fully sold on Colorado being horrible or amazing. I want to see a little bit more. Moving on, though, big one for that. Illinois. Minnesota, this is probably the heartbreaker for us on Thursday night. Their kicker missed 2 field goals. They had a fumble that literally led to a field goal. So, yeah, earlier the Minnesota kicker missed a field goal. And then after a missed field goal, Minnesota fumbled in their own territory on the 20-yard line, which led to this was in the fourth quarter, this fumble, which led to a North Carolina field goal made it 19-17. Then Minnesota is able to drive it all the way back. They get into field goal range again, and it's almost the same spot the Minnesota kid missed it the first time, misses it again. Minnesota loses 19-17. That's one that really hurts because literally if I take the 2.5, it covers. You take the money line, and it lost. Just sucks. That was between that and Colorado, those felt like 2 games I really felt like should have won. The Achilles interception in the Colorado game. Eye roll. Felt like those were 2 games I really should have won, and it didn't happen, so it's like, that's really frustrating. Because at first I was like, okay, I was on the wrong side of the game, I just picked it bad, that's on me. But then there's a few plays like that where it's like, okay, maybe I just didn't pick it bad, maybe I was just on the wrong side of some bad stuff. But it ended up being okay because, like we'll talk about here in a minute, Notre Dame ended up covering up, and we were okay. Utah won big. And then San Jose State won huge, 42-24. That was another game I wish I gave out, but didn't. I was like 6-0 in the games I didn't give out on that Thursday night, but then 0-4 in the ones I did. That hurt. Oklahoma, big win Friday. Michigan State, tough win for them, 16-10. Wisconsin wins 28-14. And TCU, I quote from my friend Jaron, played around with his food. I really didn't watch this game, but it sounds like I think TCU was up like 10 or 14 multiple points and just couldn't keep it. Couldn't put the pedal to the metal, went big, so that was a little bit frustrating. Moving on, for Saturday, since there's so many games, we'll talk about some of the more important games. Purdue, I'm just kidding. Purdue did win big, though. Shout out to them. I will talk about the Notre Dame Texas A&M game to end it. Vanderbilt, man, upsets Virginia Tech. This was a game that, like I said, I didn't watch, so I don't really have a breakdown from it. But to see this final score, that was kind of shocking because Virginia Tech was 13.5-point favorites. I can't tell you what really happened in this game. But, Vanderbilt's not a horrible team. They play kind of meh against the sometimes they play man in the SEC, but, hey, outside the SEC, they can have some really good games. I will admit, though, what really sucks is I was high on Virginia Tech potentially making the playoffs. It was them and Oklahoma State were 2 of my favorite teams. After this game, it's safe to say that Virginia Tech's going to be... They have a really, really, really tough hill to climb now after that loss, because... Yeah, that's 21 points. That's 20 points. Was it 21? 21 points in the spread, pretty much, that they lost by. Yeah, that's not going to get it done. Not going to get it done at all. Pitt wins big. Clemson was down 13-3 at half, ends up losing 34-3. Absolutely gets rolled. Bad game for them. Maryland blows up UConn. Big win for Iowa. Penn State, West Virginia, this had a delay, and then it became an ugly blowout, 34-12. And that was another game, like I said, I was on the golf course at this point with my boys, so I wasn't able to really watch it. Oklahoma State, Ollie Gordon won wild. I did see a little bit of that. They won 44-20. Big win for them. They covered. The U absolutely blew out Florida, 41-17. Beat the piss out of them. It was just a great win for Miami. This was another game, like I said, I only caught the tail end of it. But Miami was able to play really well. And Cam Ward, he might be a guy. He just might be a guy. He had 26 for 35, 385, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Xavier Restrepo had a nasty juke move as well. That looks like it made a dude either. So I couldn't tell if he was like cramping, tore shit, gave up on the play, but nasty juke. Nasty juke. Iowa State went for them. Let's see it. Damn, NIU beat Western Illinois bad. Is there Nebraska won big? Air Force with a win. Indiana beats them. Texas wins huge. Arch Manning gets in the game. Eastern Michigan was a game I took myself. I didn't give out. They won and covered against UMass. South Carolina in a scare against Old Dominion. This is a game I have no idea, but the fact that this was 23-19, I'm assuming that was supposed to be a bit more of a separated score than that. So I'm going to have to do more of a deep dive on South Carolina to figure out what the hell happened there, because they're supposed to have some guys. I feel like they had some decent players. But yeah, looking forward, I don't think there's actually many more too exciting games besides the Notre Dame game. Ole Miss dropped 76. I think Jesus, they just absolutely blew 24, 28, 21 were the first 3 quarters, and then 3. Jackson Dart had an insane stat line. I mean, that game was just absolutely crazy. 73 is insane. I think they had 3 teams win by 60 in the SEC. 3 or 4 would set like some type of record. Dylan Gabriel had an interesting game. He went 41 for 49, 380 yards, 2 touchdowns, but they only won 24-14. Makes you wonder if it's dinking and dunking, but like I said, this was another game. I'll admit, usually I watch a lot more games, so I'm able to touch base on it. But like I said, I mentioned a little bit in the beginning. I went on my boys' bachelor trip, so don't get me wrong, that was a lot of fun. I would do that anytime. I would take a week off from football to do that. But because of that, obviously in week 1, I'm a little bit off tune with some of these games, just because, like I said, bachelor party was on a Saturday, or most of the stuff we did was on a Saturday and Sunday, and hey, college football takes place on a Saturday. But yeah, like I said, so, I mean, I don't know how it became 24-14. Oregon gets a win. That's going to be something to keep an eye on, because I won't lie, I'm not the biggest fan of Dylan Gabriel myself. There's nothing against him, like, as a person at all. It's just the player, I'm not fully sold on him. I couldn't tell you why. I'm just not fully around to it, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on Oregon now, especially after that game. Texas Tech almost lose to Albany Christian. I have no idea what the spread was of this game, but 52-51. And it looks like Albany Christian just kind of was like running it back, because it was 32-21 going into half. They scored 7 each, and then fourth quarter, Albany Christian scored 17. And Texas Tech was favored by 32, so that's another team we're going to have to keep an eye on, because, yeah, that ain't good, boys. Shout out to SMU for blowing out Houston Christian, especially after the first game playing bad. They really needed this. Really needed to play a lot better. And it seems like Preston Stone played a bit better. Running game looked a lot better. Yeah, okay. I just want to see some running stats. Yeah, that was a lot better. A lot better game for the boys right there. And then, yeah, pretty much that leaves us with the last 3 games to talk about. Notre Dame, final score, it was 23-13, defensive domination in College Station. You see the title of the video. The Notre Dame defense balled the hell out. Had Connor Wyman. I don't know why I said Wyman. Connor Wyman struggling. 12 of 30, 100 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Le'Veon Moss, 20 rushes, 70 yards, 1 touchdown. He was doing really well on the ground. I will give him credit. But past that, I mean, Notre Dame defense absolutely balled out. Offensively, they weren't too bad at all. 18 to 30 for Riley Leonard, 158 rushing yards. But Julian Love had 1 touchdown. Jadrian Price had a touchdown. I think there was a defensive touchdown as well, wasn't there? Actually, I don't think there was. Oh, yeah, because it was. I forgot how low scoring the game this was. 3-3, 3-3, 7-0, 10-7 were the quarters. I mean, this was just an awesome defensive game to watch. Did have some scary stuff with some offensive. There was some offensive stuff that kind of did bother me a bit when it came to Notre Dame, just because, you know, I mean, their offensive line. The biggest thing I think I took away is their offensive line only had 6 starts together, so I didn't think they were as bad. That was a tough Texas A&M team to play, and I mean, the biggest takeaway for me is the defense. Like, I'll give the offense some time. There's new pieces there. Riley Leonard's new piece. Who else is new? I feel like there's some other new guys I really can't think of. I think they have a new OC as well. I can't think of Buddy's name, but I'm pretty sure he's new as well. I mean, offense might take some time. Marcus Freeman, that defense is what I really want to talk about. He had them boys buzzing. Defensively, they were amazing, honestly. That's all I can take away is they were Notre Dame's defense actually balled out very, really well. Like I said, interceptions from Aiden Schuler and is it Christian Gray? Or no, Xavier Watts, right? Yeah, Xavier Watts. And who did I just say? Damn it. Yeah, Aiden Schuler and Xavier Watts, both interceptions by them. I mean, absolutely insane game by Notre Dame. Notre Dame's defense. If Notre Dame's defense can play like that, they can actually be able to contend. We just need the offense to catch up a little bit because, yeah, I mean, the running game wasn't horrible on offense, but the passing game needs a little bit of work, which hopefully with the whole season to figure out some kinks, they'll be able to do that. LSU USC was the Sunday night game, 27-20. That was a game I feel like LSU should have won. Honestly, they had multiple chances to take the game, just never did. Had a bunch of really dumb penalties, and I'm talking stupid ass penalties. Offside. I mean, I can't even remember how many penalties they have. I hope they show it on here because it was a ridiculous amount. Possessions, fumble lost. Oh no, where's it? Man, they might not have it, actually. 5 of 13 on third down for LSU. 3 of 9 for USC was some of the keys to the game. I liked USC's offense. I thought USC felt like they could do almost whatever they wanted on offense. Mason Miller, shout out to him, honestly. Miller Moss. Mason Miller. I was thinking of 3 different dudes right there. Shout out to Miller Moss, though. 27 of 36, 378. Garrett Nussmeier, 29 of 38, 304. I mean, they had some good passing games. I think overall, I just think it was penalties that killed them. I think penalties killed LSU. I'm not going to say Brian Kelly's coaching killed them as well, but I mean, the shit that LSU literally did on Sunday night is the whole reason that I was so infuriated with Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. Just a bunch of dumb mistakes, a bunch of dumb stuff happening. A game they should have won that they just don't win. I mean, I genuinely felt like LSU should have won that game. They had every chance to, and for whatever reason, it's like, oh, they finally get a big stop they need, they go 3 and out. They finally get an interception, go 3 and out. The other team scores, oh, hey, then we'll score too, but we only will score the same amount they did. It's just like, oh, they'll score a touchdown, we'll score a touchdown too. And then in the fourth quarter, it just was all hell broke loose, and it was basically. Brian Kelly said it felt like a team that felt like they were going to win regardless. I don't like some of the stuff he said in the media. I felt like he threw his team under the bus a little bit with some of the quotes, but it also, I didn't see any of the full interviews, so that could also just be people picking and grabbing stuff from some interviews. So I'm not going to fully invest my time into some of those, but all I got to say is after that, I think it's 5 years in a row now, LSU's lost the opener. Or no, it's 5 years in a row that Brian Kelly's lost an opener. I think it's 3 years in a row with LSU. Something like that, that's going to need some fix. And speaking of the other team in the title, Florida State, man, only dropping 13, losing 28-13 to Boston College. I got to read out some of these. 18-13 first downs. I'm going to read Boston College's first. So Boston College, 18 first downs, Florida State's 13. Whatever number I read first is Boston College. Second one will be Florida State. So it'll be boom, 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 boom. First boom, Boston College. Second boom, Florida State. Third down efficiency, Boston College, 9 of 16. Florida State, 3 of 14. Fourth down, 1 of 3 for Florida State. Not horrible. But rushing yards, this is the big one. Boston College, 263. Florida State, 21. 263-21. And then pass yards, doesn't really matter too much. Total yards, 369 total yards to 293 total yards. 3 to 3 sacks. One interception for Boston College that almost was a pick six. Time of possession was 39-20, but at one point it was 17-2 in this game. Florida State needs to figure out how to stop the damn run. Defensively, they cannot stop the run worth a damn. This is now 2 games in a row where they got ran all over. Kai Robichaux, 19 for 85 and a touchdown. Trayshawn Ward, 12 for 77. Castellanos, 14 for 73. And Turbo Richard, 4 for 28. I mean, these dudes are literally averaging 4.5 a carry, 6.5 a carry, 5.5 a carry, 7 a carry. I mean, literally, they are just... I wish I had the yards per contact stat. I would love to see that. But these dudes are just running all over them. It was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it was literally like... There's no point in that game. Like, before I even bet the game, so I took Florida State... I did not take the Florida State. I took Boston College at the 17.5. I also took them. I threw like 20 or 30 on the money line because I had a promo where I could only use 20 or 30. So I'm like, whatever. Boston College might be able to hang around because I was impressed by Florida State in Ireland. And yeah, I think they didn't. Their first 3 possessions were 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And Florida State is down 14-0 after 2 possessions. And then they finally got a stop, and that's when the game finally started to be like, all right, who's going to finally take over a little bit? But nobody from Florida State really took over. I didn't think their running game was atrocious, but 3 for 11, 3 for 10. They just didn't really attempt it. DJU was 21 for 42 for 272, 1-1. Didn't like a lot of the stuff. It felt like their touchdown too. Their only touchdown of the game was on like 4 or 5 broken tackles as well. It's just, I won't lie, this offense from Florida State needs to figure some shit out. It is. I don't know if it's DJU. I don't know if these guys just aren't all on the same page. Morlock for Florida State had like 8 drops. 5 targets, 0 catches. He had some horrible drops as well. And then DJU would just miss him. I mean, literally, it's like if the booth said it best. If the quarterback missed, the receivers were there, but the quarterback just missed it. If the receivers are on, the quarterback's off because he just missed them. Vice versa. I mean, if literally quarterback's on, receivers are off, receivers are off, quarterback's on, receivers are on, quarterback's off. I mean, they just literally had no chemistry all night. It was just a completely horrible situation. Offensive line-wise, they're still struggling a little bit. I mean, DJU had some decent throws. He missed the guy wide open in the corner for a touchdown. I think he sailed another deep ball that could have been a touchdown. I mean, he had a wide receiver fade in the corner, nobody around him. If he just puts a little bit of air on it, or even lobs it, it'd be okay. But instead, he kind of throws it out of the back of the end zone. I mean, just a horrible game all around. Defensively, I mean, they need to figure out that defensive line. I know they got some pass rushers, but them boys need to stop the goddamn run because I don't think there's going to be a team at this point that doesn't go, all right, we're just going to start running all over this team because it's going to start becoming an issue. Because let's see, they got Memphis, Cal, SMU. I mean, SMU. That could get ugly because SMU is a running team. If they don't figure out the run by September 28th, which they have a whole month to do it, they have 2 games to do it. That could get really bad. I think Clemson might not be as bad. I don't know what Duke will be. Miami could run all over them. Notre Dame could run all over them. I mean, the thing is, Florida State's schedule is not horrible. It's just they have a lot to fix, man. The wide receiver quarterbacks need to get on the same page. Besides, I think his name's Lucas. I can't remember what Buddy's first name is. Oh, sorry, Douglas. Ja'Kai Douglas. Ja'Kai Douglas and DJU kind of have a decent connection, but Pat Side needs to figure out some stuff everywhere else. And, yeah, they really need to stop the run because if they don't stop the run here soon, I mean, like I said, it's going to get ugly. That was just unbelievable. I just can't get over that. Let's read those numbers again. 4.5 a carry for Robichaux, who had 19 of 85. 4.5 on almost 20 carries. He's literally 2 carries. It's almost a first down, damn near. Walking first down. Thomas Castellanos, 5.2. Trayshawn Ward, 6.4. Or Trayshawn Ward. And then, who was the last guy? Turbo Richard, 7 a carry on 4. Unbelievable. It was an awesome game, though. Like I said, really, really fun weekend. Betting-wise, amazing weekend for me. Had 2 or 3 games I didn't give out that hit, so I had an amazing weekend overall. For the games I did give out, though, we'll go over the records real quick before we talk about what's going to be happening Thursday. Record-wise, yeah, I think we were, 0 for 4 Thursday. Yeah, Colorado killed us. Jacksonville State blown out. Minnesota, 0 for 3. We were 0 for 4 after West Virginia was Saturday. So, excuse me, I just misspoke a little bit. Oklahoma State's win, though, so that's 1-4. Miami, 2-4. Boston College, 3-4. Not too horrible at all, honestly. Wait. No way. Did I not give them out? Okay, there we go. I was about to say, did I not give out my Nasty Boys? Nasty Boys, man, I wish if I just took Travis Hunter anytime touchdown solo and Jimmy Horton solo, because those both hit. And then when it comes to that was Thursday night Nasty Boys. That was just the special one we were getting out. The real Nasty Boy for the week, man. Byshaw Tootin scored. Xavier Restrepo scored. Donovan Edwards scored. Garrett Green was the only guy who let us down, or we would have at least hit one of the Nasty Boys as well. And a 3-4 weekend with the Nasty Boy hit. Yeah, that would have been nice. But 3-4 in week 1, I'll take it, honestly. That puts us at, I think, 5-8 on the season so far. Not a horrible record at all. Yeah, we're 5-7 on the season. 5-7 on the season with the straights, 0-1 in the props, and we're now 0-2 on the Nasty Boys, which is okay because, honestly, Nasty Boy record, the Nasty Boy is about units, not record. Everything else, that's about records. But those Nasty Boys, that's all unit play, man. We just need to hit 2 or 3 of those this season, and chef's kiss, we'll be golden. But that's probably going to do it for today. The plan for Thursday, like I said, is, so the way my Thursdays are going to work is going to be Pickem. For those of you who've been here for the last 2 years, you know how I'm going to be. For those of you who are new, basically what I do is I do an NFL Pick'em League with my family. It's for money. It's family and friends. We do it for money. So I basically make a whole series show out of it where I basically pick every NFL game, go over that with Pick'em, and then right after I do that, I give out my NFL bets and also my college football bets. I usually do so I'll do NFL Pick'em, give out NFL bets, then give out college football bets. That'll be every single Thursday episodes. And that's pretty much all Thursday is going to consist of. It could be a 15-minute episode if I don't have a lot to explain. It's a lot of bets. It could be a 30, 45-minute episode. Eventually, I do want to have my boy Rowan on occasionally here and there to maybe talk with me a little bit. For the most part, it's just me on there. And then, yeah, I was going to have my boy Rowan on this week. I might move that a little bit because we need to figure out some days and everything, because now I believe I'm going to be going on his shows potentially on Thursdays, so instead of Fridays. We got a lot of mix around, so I'm going to figure out how to get him back on. He might start becoming on Fridays potentially. Friday afternoons, maybe. We'll see. But especially with college football right around the corner as well, we got to get that boy on. We still got some WNBA to talk about a little bit. Still got some baseball, I guess, to talk about. But NFL football, man. When you see me on Thursday, we're giving out picks, NFL bets for week 1, college bets for week 2. That's the type of shit that can make a grown man cry. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for support. I really do appreciate it. I will see everyone back in this feed Thursday.